This is the historic Dundee Mill. I'm Darren, and this is the Industrial Revolution. We're here on the River Raisin, and I promise there's a dam behind me. Water's a little bit high today, so you can't really see it. It's that little ripple back there. Normally you've got a pretty substantial drop for that dam, which is why the mill was built here. It was originally the Alfred Wilkinson Grist Mill. The dam itself was built, well, the original dam was 1827, but this dam was actually built in 1846. In 1846, then the mill itself was built in 1847. The wood that you see there, the wood part of the structure, was the grist mill. Like many mills, this has been through quite a few changes. So it started out as a grist mill, 1847. Lasted until around 1910. 1910, the grist mill closed down and they converted it over for electrical generation for the village of Dundee. It originally had turbines in it, and it kept turbines. That was through 1910. And that lasted up until 1934. In 1934, Henry Ford bought the property. It's used as one of his village industry sites. If you see the stone parts over there on the end, including the chimney, that was added by Henry Ford, put in new turbines, new generators, and operated a small factory here to provide parts for his other plants, especially the Rouge plant, which is not that far away. They made mostly welding tips. And it's a good thing he came in because the village was actually about to tear down the building before he bought it. And he saved the historic part of the structure and fixed that up, replaced all the turbines, added the hydroelectric space, and as I said, the stone part over here. So this is the generator room in the historic Dundee Mill. What we're looking at here is actually the generator installed by Henry Ford in 1936. This provided all the power for his factory here. It was not the first generator in the mill. The first generator was installed around 1910, and that was used to provide power for the village of Dundee. At that point, it was the only power source for the village. Later on, that wasn't necessary as Edison Illuminating Company, predecessor of Detroit Edison in this area, had connected this area to their generators. Let's take a look around. So at the top you can see the governor for the generator. They kept it running at a constant speed and maintained a constant voltage even as loads changed. Here's the governor for the water turbine to make sure it didn't spin wildly out of control. Control the amount of water coming in and out. And unfortunately right now, water's a little bit high out here today. And that means that not only is the dam virtually invisible, the water at the bottom is about the same as the water at the top, it means that the actual turbine room is underwater right now, so it's completely inaccessible. This is the control panel for the hydroelectric equipment installed by Henry Ford. You can see the box at the top was added sometime later. It's called a synchroscope. It's used to synchronize your generator to outside power, usually grid power. This was added when additional power was needed in the factory, and they had to tie into outside sources for that additional power. Without synchronizing your system first, if you switch in, you can cause huge amounts of damage to your generators and turbines. So much damage, in fact, you could potentially completely and maybe even explosively destroy them. Well, Henry died in 1947, and that resulted in the Ford Motor Company Board of Directors wanting to get rid of the property. They kind of let things fade away. They weren't real fond of the village industry sites, although the village industry sites were very efficient. But they weren't centrally located. It was a little harder to manage, I guess. So things sort of faded until 1954. And in 1954, the Wolverine Manufacturing Company bought the property from Ford, and they added the rest of the building over there that you see today. And the Wolverine Manufacturing Company used it as a paper mill, still running the hydroelectric facility. So after operating as a grist mill and a village electric generating station and an auto parts factory and a paper company, in 1970 the paper company decided they needed to shut down as well. Fortunately, rather than selling it off for a major profit, instead they sold it to the village of Dundee for $1. And the village has since turned it into a museum. The interior is now open to the public, free of charge. It's the Old Mill Museum. Because of the work of these volunteers, because the paper company practically donating the mill to the village, we still have this piece of history right here. This mill is the Industrial Revolution.